Hi everyone, you're watching Heavy's TV and this is your favorite program in English, Strangers in the Sun. And today, for a change, we're not in the studios, we're outside in the sun, which is fantastic. And we have a guest today, which was here in our studios earlier this year. You remember her. Her name is Jane, and Jane, welcome again. Thank you for being with us one more time. Last time you were with Betty, your friend, and the founder, the foundator of the association that you are representing today, which is Benahavis Decorative and Fine Arts Association. Can you please just quickly remind us what you're doing and what is your aim?
We stand for a society who like to foster the arts. And in particular, we want people to enjoy knowing more about art and culture, especially the culture of Spain. Every month we have a lecturer coming from the UK who is an expert in his subject, and they give us a wonderful variety of talks about all sorts of subjects. Last month we had a very emotional talk about Van Gogh, and on the 26th we have a very stimulating lecture by Brian Stater, who's going to be talking to us about the Swinging Sixties and all the marvellous photographs that were taken at that time. People like Twiggy, Mick Jagger, and all the rest who were associated with Carnaby Street.
So it should be a fantastic exhibition and lecture at the same time, because Brian is going to talk about the pictures, the photographies of those days in the 60s and plus, and then he's going to let us know about all those famous British people.
Absolutely, and I'm sure he's going to have the most wonderful images to show us.
Fantastic, and we're going to talk to him a little bit later on during the show.
Okay.
So, Jane, how are you getting ready for this event in the town hall on the 26th?
Well, we always get ready by being there early and having a glass of wine so that everybody can have a complimentary glass of wine at the end, because our idea is our society should be very friendly and happy and not at all stuffy. We want people to make friends when they come to us.
Fantastic. So when we're going to have a drink, are we going to sing a little bit of the Beatles, the Rolling Stones?
If you come, Xavier, we will.
And we shall dance and sing.
Fantastic.
Perfect. That's the next appointment. That's the next rendezvous in the town hall with the association, Jane and Betty. We're looking forward to see you there. And we're going to talk just now
6:30 on Tuesday.
To Brian. Okay.
Okay.
Perfect. Thanks,
Thank
Jane.
Hacienda todos los años la misma locura y no sé cómo arreglar los papeles.
Igual que nosotros, ¿eh? Tranquilo, que en esta semana tienes el divorcio.
Que ha cambiado la ley y ahora lo de la herencia es un verdadero calvario.
Perdone, señora, se le ha caído su tarjeta.
Muchas gracias, cariño.
Los problemas, nosotros la solución.
So there we are, still outdoor with Strangers in the Sun, after talking to Jane for the association, which is going to do that exhibition on the next 26th of April. I've got the great pleasure to welcome Brian Stater. You are going to be the lecturer?
Lecturer.
It's a difficult word to say for a Frenchman or for a Spanish guy, but lecturer. He's going to do the lecture at the exhibition on the 26th in the town hall in Benahavis, and that whole exhibition is going to be about British British culture, music, photography, especially photography. And Brian, I know you lecture normally in the London University.
That's right, yes.
Which is amazing and fantastic. And
Yes.
you're coming now here in Spain, in Andalusia, Benahavis, for
Yes.
a lecture on this 26th.
That's right. Yeah, it's a great pleasure to come here and sit in the sunshine, having sat in the rain in London over the last few days. And I do travel quite a lot. I go mostly around the UK. This is only the second time I think I've been outside the UK to speak on these subjects. But I do a range of talks. This is perhaps one of the ones that's most entertaining. As you mentioned, as Jane explained, it really looks at a very important few years in British culture when Britain was at the forefront of fashion and design, and some great photographers captured those moments in images, some of which are very well known, I'll be showing this evening, some of which are lesser known, and some of the great photographers are still household names in England. People such as David Bailey is a remarkably resonant name even now. I'll speak about some of the great pictures he took with his muse and lover Jean Shrimpton. I'll talk about also Terence Donovan and Brian Duffy. There were three great fashion photographers: David Bailey, Terence Donovan, Brian Duffy. I'll bring those two together. We'll see some pictures of people like Twiggy and other great models with great fashion and icons of the era, such as the E-Type Jaguar car, which will bring back some very fond memories, and possibly lots of pictures of miniskirts, which will bring back very fond memories for some of the gentlemen there. So there's a group of fashion photographers, and then there are two others. There's a lady called Jane Bown, who's not as well known as she should be, but she took some wonderful portraits in the 1960s. We'll see some portraits of people like Mick Jagger and Cilla Black and Paul McCartney. And the final guy we look at is a disciple of Henri Cartier-Bresson. This is an English photographer called Tony Ray Jones, who looked at the eccentricities of English life in the 1960s, where Bailey and the others focused on the high fashion. This guy, Tony Ray Jones, went around photographing ordinary events in English life, such as church garden parties, looking for the funny, the absurd and the entertaining. So it covers quite a broad range, and I hope it will bring back some memories, and I hope it will be entertaining, and above all I hope it will be informative, because what I try to do is draw comparisons between the work of David Bailey and some of his predecessors as great photographers, which he didn't acknowledge. But if you compare his photographs with some from people like Robert Frank and Cartier-Bresson, you can see how strongly he was influenced by photographers of the past. So that's a kind of sketch of it.
Fantastic. So it's going to be a great meeting and a great lecture, I believe.
I hope so.
And I could see that we're going to see pictures like of John Lennon or
Yes,
icons
yeah.
like this, like Mick
Yeah.
Jagger as well.
John
Twiggy,
Lennon,
you
Jagger,
said you
Twiggy,
talked.
yeah.
And what I would ask you as a professional and a lecturer,
Yeah.
and also you're a photographer yourself, it's a very usual question.
Yeah.
Who's the most important, the model
Yeah.
or the photographer?
The most important thing is the combination. It's the
there we
chemistry. The chemistry between the model and the photographer. That's the ingredient X. And that's what Bailey and Shrimpton had, and what Twiggy and Terence Donovan had.
So that's going to be a chemistry
Yeah.
between you,
Yeah.
between the public, because it's going to be an English, mainly public, but also
Yeah.
Spanish, because we are in
Yeah.
Benahavis.
Yes.
And we're going to have beautiful pictures.
Yeah.
Your lecture.
Yeah.
And what can we say? To tell everybody to come on the 26th and watch.
It would be, and I think it's clearly of most interest to an English audience, but I think some of the names and certainly some of the images will be familiar also to a broader range. So please come.
That kind of lecture might be a show as
Yeah.
well.
Yeah.
So there we are.
It's good.
Just all come to that show of the Association Benahavis Decorative and Fine Arts. Thank you, Jane. Thank you, Brian.
Okay.
And we'll see you on the 26th in the Town Hall of Benahavis for that beautiful exhibition.
Great.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you. See you soon.